Hey there, welcome back to Total Geek Baltimore Presents. I am Baltimore, and today I am bringing you the final installment of X-Men Grand Design. That's X-Tinction number 2. This is the brainchild of Ed Piskor. I am really loving this whole series. I thought it was really great. I have been a fan of this since it started, a little bit ago, maybe a year or so. But I really enjoyed the way he captured these 200 issues or so, almost 30 years of X-Men storyline into one coherent narrative experience. I think he did a very successful job. Yes, there are parts that are just like not my choice I would have made, but I'm buying this, I'm supporting it, so I'm very grateful to have this. And I think of it as an alternate telling of the story, and that's why I can get behind it and enjoy it so much more. So yes, I did get my copy with Bishop on there, with the fun little variant one. And again, they have these pages, newspaper print style pages, which I think are so amazing and great little nostalgia trip on its own, which I really enjoyed. And Ed Piskor, you did a great job. I really enjoyed the experience. Thank you for that. And this issue, I I feel there was a little bit of faltering with it, just because he was finishing this tale and he had to complete it in a way that made sense narratively for him and for the continuity that he was working with. And I thought it was very interesting the way that he brought it about, because I think 2 issues before this we had him. I questioned why he changed Lee Forrester to Madeline Pryor with Cyclops, and this was back when Cyclops left after Jean Grey's death, and Lee Forrester in the comics is the one that he gets a quick emotional and relationship with when he meets Magneto in the island, back in like 150-ish or something. And here we kind of get a flip to that story where we actually get Lee Forrester actually happening instead of Madeline. And as you can tell, Bishop's right on the cover, so you kind of have to feel there's some time travel shenanigans about, and that is very true. We have this basically picks up right after it. So there's a couple of things going on. There's a lot of flashback in this issue as well. They talk about Magneto's trial, where Xavier was representing him, and I think that's like X-Men 200. So it's a flashback to that because we're in like the 250s right now. So there's a flashback to that. It's getting the X-Men and the X-Factor teams, together and realizing, where they've been, what's going on, what they're where they've been, why isn't Xavier around, how is Jean Grey alive. So there's lots of flashback here that fills in the story for the X-Men, and I think he did it in a very successful way. I thought I didn't take away from the narrative, the moving forward, but it did allow for some interesting takes on the revelations between Xavier and Jean Grey, and that they're alive and all this stuff. So I thought that was very cool. We get a lot of stuff from the New Mutants as well as here, which is I really do love and appreciate. We have the Reavers and Donald Pierce. We have the Siege Perilous, which is a little different this time than it was in the original comics, but that's okay. I still appreciated that they kind of worked through it. And we have of course the iconic image of Wolverine being nailed to an X cross by the Reavers when we meet actually Jubilee, and Jubilee and Wolverine become a great duo. So that was really great seeing her introduction and that kind of feisty firecracker revealed here. The Siege Perilous storyline and going into where the X-Tinction agenda starts, and right after that, that's probably one of my favorite eras of the X-Men ever. I thought it was really great. I love the idea that they were separated for a while, and now they're all trying to get back together and come together, and come together they do in a very explosive way. We have Psylocke. We have her going through the Siege Perilous and transforming into Quanen's body. We have the body swap situation. We have Dazzler going away through the Siege Perilous, Rogue, Colossus, Havoc, all of them going their separate ways. And then you see, where they come out and what the situation is for them. We have, of course, the X-Tinction agenda, name for the whole series here, which is basically the Genosians kidnap the X-Men because of high crimes and treason. And the U.S. government is allowing it because they don't want mutants around. There's a mutant cure situation that we have here, Forge talking about it, and Kelly as president. And there's all sorts of things that are not quite how you would remember them, but it will make sense in in 5 pages or so of this book. And then we get the X-Tinction agenda, where the X-Men and the X-Factor and the New Mutants all team up to overthrow the Genosian dictatorship, the mutant slave situation that they have there. And I thought it was very fun to see that iconic image of all the X-Men and X-Factor in chains in the court, which I love that panel, and I love the way that Ed Piskor reinvents it here. And that's really great. And it ends a little bit differently than we would remember it. It kind of there's a nuclear attack by the U.S. and they destroyed everybody. And then it fast forwards to the future, where you have Bishop, you have Kate Pryde, you have Rachel Summers. So you're like, 3 time travelers. That's kind of interesting. I think I'm seeing what you're doing, Ed, and I'm interested. And then we get the idea that Forge is, trying to send them back in time to save the past and change the future. And he's going to do it with 3 different time travelers. He has Kate Pryde go back to inhabit Kitty Pryde's younger body, Kitty Pryde, in the classic Days of Future Past scenario. They have Rachel going back as well. And then you have Bishop as well going back in time. So it's interesting to see what that actually means for the X-Men going forward, and what the final 5-ish pages does is reinvent the X-Men continuity and changes it back to what you actually remember. So, Ed, I give you great props here for thinking really big about this and making the story make sense, and the continuity things that we were like, why is this happening? Why is Lee Forrester not Lee Forrester? Why is it Madeline Pryor? Now it's switched. Now it is the way that we kind of remember it. And so any sort of inconsistencies, quirks, continuity gaffes that we thought might have happened are actually on purpose and are now making sense because he has changed. Like Kelly as president, he was not president, but now we get everything as we would remember. And I thought it was just a really great, amazing final chapter for this. I give Ed big props for this. I thought the artwork was amazing. I really do love his style, and I think it, absolutely fits with this narrative technique that he uses on, in all of his work, which I really appreciate. His cartoonist, kind of historical documentarian as a cartoonist, which I really am fascinated with, and I think it's really great. And just seeing these stories retold are really, really get me in my heart. I get to see the New Mutants again. I get to see X-Factor and the X-Men coming together, and I really, really love and appreciate that, and getting to see, what he does to make this story work in, 6 issues that he had to tell it in 200 issues or so. So I thought it was really great. The X-Men, always persevere and always do the right thing. And here we get them to, again, do the right thing. And it's just really, really amazing. And I'm very grateful for Ed to giving us this work. I will get the collected version when it comes out, all 6 issues, I'm sure. So it was really, really great. I absolutely urge you to pick these up, even if you're doing in single copies. You have First Class or the First Genesis, and then you have Second Genesis, which is another 2 issues, and then you have X-Tinction, which is the final act of his story. Really, really great, amazing work. I love this. I can't wait to see if he actually is interested in doing more of these. I would be totally down for more retellings of maybe the Avengers or Justice League or someone. Uh, just putting it out there. I would be really grateful if we could get more of this. But what did you think of X-Men Grand Design X-Tinction #2? What did you think of the entire series as a whole? Did it really speak to you? Did you enjoy it? Um, Let me know. Like, subscribe, and share. In the comments, respond, tell me what you have going on. And as always, it's all geek to us. See you soon.